Hi there everyone. Welcome to the New South Wales Government's Business Connect webcasts. Today we're talking about expanding our team, specifically preparing you and your business to employ. My name is Paulina Mangano, a Business Connect advisor at the Business Centre Newcastle. Business Connect is a dedicated program funded by the New South Wales Government and delivered through a network of independent service providers to help you start or grow your small business. Today's webcast title is, So It's Time to Employ a New Team Member. This discussion is all about helping business owners prepare for employing. Recruitment is just part of this process, so let's make sure you get it all right. Timing, planning and execution, they're all key to the successful outcome in this space. I'm thrilled to introduce today's guest, Rebecca Phillips. Hi Rebecca. Becca's from Fairplay Ush. She has 10 years of experience in recruitment. She successfully started her own recruitment business, which she's since sold, and moved into a completely different industry, providing education and care for school-aged children in out-of-school hours. Becca started with a team of just three, and one centre. And just over 3 years, she's now got 7 centres, which is soon to be 9. Is that right?
Yes.
Wow,
yes.
That's a lot of growth. And she now has a staff of over 60. Gosh, in 3 years,
Yeah.
Amazing. Beck and her team are motivated to provide quality, safe, fun care and education, and has planned to set the benchmark in this space. Bringing community together are also high on Fairplay Ush's agenda, and all of this is achievable by ensuring the entire team is fully supported, is enabled, inspired, and love what they do. Beck places huge focus on satisfied, capable and confident staff. I thought she'd be a wonderful source of information and experience for today's subject, and I also knew we'd have the opportunity to have some fun, which is something that's always on our agenda.
Absolutely.
So much for coming tonight, Beck. Really happy to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, fantastic. We're going to have a good time. So I'm going to start with some questions. This is stuff that we talk about all the time when we talk about your business. We'll probably go off topic a little bit, but let's
Won't we?
let's see how we go. And looking forward to sharing all of your insights and experience with our viewers today.
Sounds good.
Fantastic. Okay, so my first question, let's talk about when it's the best time to consider bringing on a new team member and planning for that critical growth phase. I know at the Business Centre that we often get clients come into the centre and they're already at that stage. So they're working too hard, they've got business banking up, and they really don't have time to recruit, let alone time to invest in a new team member. So what advice would you give a business to stop them from getting to that critical stage before recruiting?
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly been there, and a lot of us business owners do that. So for us, what has worked, and it doesn't just happen overnight, but it's being prepared. It's being, going back to the business plan and being prepared, knowing your financial position and constantly reviewing that financial position. Being prepared, knowing what award, knowing position descriptions is really important, knowing what that new employee is going to be bringing to the team and what their position description is going to be all about. And just keeping in line with what the business growth, the business plan and your financial budgets. Otherwise, that just creates a whole new stress level if we aren't, we're not working alongside that.
Great. So I love that you've gone straight to planning because, of course, in business we know planning is so important.
Absolutely.
And I also love that you've spoken about that whole recruitment process as being part of your business planning process. So, Beck, how often would you visit your business plan, do you think?
Once a month now. It just becomes part of our, monthly to-do, action plan, whatever else it is. So we take time out. I take time out of the business to work on the business and not in the business, because otherwise we get to that, that burnout, that, overworked stage. I'm married to my business, so to speak, rather than, having that business plan and executing what, deliver what we'd planned to. So, and because you don't want to bring someone into the business when you're so highly strung and, overworked, you want to be bringing them in when it's, a nice transition in.
Excellent. So I guess I love your language. We're talking about strategy here.
Yeah.
So it's not just playing in the moment, it's looking forward and being prepared.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
And you as a business owner, I get really benefit from that. But what does that do for your staff, having that plan sorted?
Yeah, just not, bringing staff members in that have actually got a clear position description, a clear direction of what their role is. Coming into a business either highly strung or balanced and calm with direction, which one would you rather? So, knowing your business plan just creates a better journey for not only, us as a employer, but also the new employees coming in to come on that journey.
Love that. And I guess we've all been in that position where we've started at a new organisation or a new business, and we've sort of arrived and no one's ready for us, and there's not a desk and no one knows what we're doing, and we're asked to sit in the corner. IT sorted, and it's a bit of a schmozzle, isn't it? And then again, I've been employed where I've turned up and my desk is all sorted, and there's an induction, and and the onboarding is really sets the scene for a happy induction.
It doesn't matter what workplace, it really sets the scene. It's professional. I'm here for the long haul, so to speak, and we can make it work.
Excellent. I guess another thing with that planning too is thinking about how you're going to employ, if it's going to be a full-time employee, because there are other options,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, so casual employee, maybe outsourcing, maybe contracting.
I know the big thing, in recent times, whether it's healthcare or childcare, it's been to start someone off casually. So we try and steer away from that because, in all new contracts, it's a 3 or 6 month probation period anyway. So attracting the right candidate, we have to offer permanent part-time or permanent full-time work. So we do stay away from the casual.
I love that.
As much as possible.
Yeah, so you're giving some stability to the applicant.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Fantastic. We're talking about being the preferred employer later, but that fits right in with that. Yes,
yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so with the Business Centre, just on that point of planning, and something that's near and dear to what I do, strategy and business planning is something, and goal setting is something that I do with most of our clients here at the Business Centre. At the Business Centre, we can help you through that journey. So no question too big, no question too small, and I'm sorry I said the word journey. I really try not to use that word. But we can take you through that process so you know where you're going, and we can keep you on track as well. And with a lot of our clients that we've had for many years, and Beck, gosh, how many years have we had a relationship here at the Business Centre?
5? Would it be 5
Maybe
years?
5 or 6 years, I think.
How many times have you tried to get me on a business plan, and it's just clicked in the last 18 months, 2 years?
It has. So I guess we've always been going on that process, but now I love to hear that you're bringing out at your management meetings, and it's an evolving document. So, and you're comparing it with your financials, which is just strategy plus. It's fantastic.
It's permanently on our staff meeting agenda.
Love
so
it.
It just becomes part of the
How great is that? And again, we're talking about engaging the staff, and you're doing that at the fundamental level of planning. That's excellent.
That's the idea.
Love it. So just back to the Business Centre, please know that we can help you with all of those things. We can also help you with all of the compliance issues as well. So we can provide you with, we've got lists of checklists and case studies, examples of best practice models, all of that Fair Work, Industrial Relations and WHS legislation. Just let us know and we can take you through that process. But on to my second question. So it's a competitive market out there for all businesses. It doesn't matter what you're doing, but it's also really competitive in the space of recruitment. So finding those amazing people to add to your team is so integral, and you being able to demonstrate that you're the preferred employer, I guess that's where it starts. So how do you demonstrate that you're the preferred employer in this space, Beck?
Well, you're spot on there. It's definitely a competitive market, and job boards like Seek and Indeed, LinkedIn and all those things are just so hard to attract good quality candidates these days. I like to think that we are the go-to employer for USH, so before and after school care. And how have we done that is our staff are our number one. So I can smile like a Cheshire cat when I talk about our staff, because although in the childcare sector, our children should be our number one, but if we don't get the staff right, the rest doesn't flow. So getting good quality candidates is really important. So for us, when we're recruiting, whether it's my healthcare days or childcare or anyone that I'm giving advice to, you can have the best formatted resume using the big words, keywords, but they can be the poorest clinician, or you could have the plainest resume and be the best clinician, best educator, best manager. So it's really about, I don't even look at resumes when I open I can go onto Seek, I've got some jobs ads up at the moment. I won't really look at resumes, I'll just send them a selection criteria. What's important to me as an employer? So what are you passionate about our industry? What can you bring to the team? What can't you work? Because I want to be as flexible to give our employees and our staff as much work-life balance as possible. So it's really important because then it's a win-win for everyone. Getting back to that question, hit me with that question again because I think I may have gotten off.
No, you're doing great.
No? Okay.
No, you're doing great. So how do you demonstrate to potential employees that you're the preferred employer? This is somewhere where they want to. So Fair Play-ish is somewhere where they want to work.
Yeah, so I believe, and I really encourage everyone to go and have a look at our ads, that our ads are talking from the heart. They're not big keywords. It's you can tell, and lots of our candidates that come in and go, oh my goodness, your ad, I just needed to talk to you and get more questions, because our ads do say call us for, we want to talk to you. We don't want to just see an application. We want to engage with you. And we retain staff. We've generally got staff coming to us and asking to come and work for our services, which is nice. And we encourage any applicant, before they make any decisions, to come and do a paid work trial with us because sometimes the grass isn't always greener on the other side. So we really ask the staff to, or the potential candidate to come in, have a catch up. It's not an interview, it's actually a catch up. What you love about the industry, what you don't like about the industry, 3 changes, 3 positives, and just delve deeper into what they're looking for in life too, to make sure that we are going to be able to deliver that. And for us, having 60 odd staff, we have amazing staff. So another Cheshire Cat moment that I can sit here and confidently say that all of our staff, they want to be, they're driven, they're passionate. So when we're recruiting, we've really got to make sure that we're not recruiting a sour apple. So because the teams really work across all 7 services. Have I avoided your question there, or did I answer it?
No, you haven't avoided it. You've done a great job.
I'm very passionate about staffing and making sure it's a fit for us, but also for the candidate too. So, and their family life, because their family life is really important. Because at Fair Play-ish, it's a family.
Love that.
Yeah.
So there's some really great hot tips there that Beck shared with us, and one thing I guess I can't ignore to begin with is her authenticity. So and I've done a lot of work with Beck over the years and with her staff, and I can honestly say this is how her staff talk about working at Fair Play-ish as well. So they love what they do. They love the support that they get.
Oh, thank you.
And what I really, really like is that when you're onboarding, you're really looking at, or when you're recruiting, you're really looking at that being a best fit, because we all know if it doesn't work for either party, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And it's that culture, you can have someone come in with the most experience that you've ever seen, but if they don't fit the culture of your organisation, there are potentially going to be problems.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen over time some great candidates coming through, but they're just not going to fit our culture. So, because we're not one of your big corporates, we're a family-owned business, and although we have structure in place, we do it the Fair Play-ish way. Yeah. So, yeah, and also another really key to success is I have found personally, and I've used this, right through owning my own businesses, and even as a manager, is when working for other companies, is taking the staff on the journey. So when they start, the 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, and then by then you should be doing performance review. So, touching base and just checking in that, hey, how's everything going? What can I give you, the tools to succeed? What have I missed? Because if we don't give you the tools to succeed, how are you going to succeed? So, it just works for us, and it's just keeping it simple is
Love
my
that.
key to...
And I think you keep saying, Beck, that it works for us, but that's why you're here today, is because this works for everybody.
Yeah,
so you're hitting off on building those strong relationships with your staff, and enabling your staff so they can look after your clients and your families, and that it's a community. You've built that culture, and they're a teams. They all work together.
Yeah.
Amazing. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. You're just speaking my language. I guess one thing that we haven't spoken about, and I know this is strong for you as well, is managing those expectations. And I guess that goes in hand with your authenticity, and that really just laying it out on the table and being very clear with your clients and what your expectation is.
Yeah. So expectations, that's a really, expectations, goals, all that comes together is, so although, you know, I might be the employer, the employees, management, we all go on the journey together. So we create those goals together. Just like, you know, when we're working with children on the floor, we don't create the rules. We co-create the rules to get a better outcome. So I'm not going to say to a child, you know, you're not allowed to go past that green mat over there. I'm actually going to say, hey, we're not, you know, do you want to go here or do you want to go here because we actually can't go down there? So not probably the best example, but we are co-creating. We are joining together, and this is my ideas, that's your ideas. How can we bring that together? So it doesn't matter in any of our business, whether you've been in the education sector for 2 days, 2 years, 22 years, you are as equal as, you know, anyone. We're all on an equal playing field. Yes, it's a hierarchy, but we've just found taking the staff on the journey and allowing buy-in is it's been our key to success.
Perfect. Love that. Love that buy-in. It's just so much easier, isn't it? And then they're all part of the solution,
Absolutely,
aren't they?
because they are. You know, they are part of it. So
Yep. Fantastic. All right. So one thing I've got written down here too, and something I know that we've worked with is you're having current and relevant policies and procedures and position descriptions. And
whoops, daisy.
Because that's a big job, isn't it?
It's absolutely a big job. And how long did it take me to get on that journey? But it worked.
Yes.
So if there's any advice I can give anyone is jump on the policies and procedure journey, because it really does. It's that you know you refer back to that rather than having to, you know,
again and again
and getting on that crazy town. That crazy town is just, you know, it's less frequent. It doesn't happen really once we've got those policies and procedures. Business plan, policies, procedures, budgets, they're the key to, And, you know, I look back on that now, and I know we had a recent appointment and Pete was there, and I'm like, it's taken me years to get to this point because it never clicked. You know, yes, I get customer service. Yes, I only want what I would expect as a customer, but that stuff really scared me. So, but now I get it, and it's ingrained, and it was those light bulb moments from, you know, yourself and other colleagues at the business centre that, you know, instilled it. No book or textbook could have told me.
Great, thank you. And it's really hard when you're starting a business or when you're bought into a business. You've got so many things to do, and thinking of just sitting down and writing words on the page. Oh my gosh! But it just pays off, doesn't it?
It does.
It's, you know, and it saves you time. It saves you time and money. And oh my gosh, angst with your staff knowing what the deal is. But that expectation management, it's so great to be able to say, this is what we expect, and you knew that, you know, or for them to say, this is outside of what we wanted to do, let's talk about it. So it can open up conversations as well.
Definitely. So policies and procedures are my new best friend.
I love that. This is so, I haven't heard Beck say that before, but I do know they're all there. There's always been a few sighs around those words, so that's great to see you smiling. Okay, so other points here that we've spoken about is knowing your team, and I think you've been really clear with that and I've seen that demonstrated in all of our conversations with you and your team.
Pulling weaknesses and strengths out of your staff and turning those weaknesses into a positive and a strength, enabling them and seeing them grow and blossom, you cannot be any more rewarded than that. So we all have weaknesses and strengths. Hello, policies and procedures.
It's called a SWOT, everybody.
A SWOT, yes. But we got there in the end. But look, you know, I've got staff that are, you know, they could be retired, but they still bring in their sewing machine, and they're teaching children life skills about sewing and about cooking and about back in, you know, in their day, like 65 is not that old. And so whether, you know, old mate's bringing in a guitar and playing a tune, or we've got Sporty Spice bringing in her Nike SBs or whatever they are these days, 270s, and she's shooting some hoops. Everyone's got, you know, something they can bring to the team. So really drawing out on strengths and converting those weaknesses into positives and to strengths is really core for us. So
love that. I've got a little bit of a story to share about Beck and her staff.
Uh-oh.
And no, all good, always good. And we were doing some management training with the coordinators, and one of the questions was, what's your hidden gift? What's your special that you bring to the business the business centre to Fair Play Ush? And of course they were quite meek and didn't want to, share. And Beck could just sit there and point to all of her staff, and she knew what their special gift was.
Yeah.
She knew what they were great at doing, and that was really, really lovely. And I think they were really surprised as well, because there's a lot of people in the room, and you knew all of your staff. It was fabulous.
It's really hard, drawing that out of yourself, but they are all amazing. Yes. Absolutely amazing. Like the most amazing, passionate, anyway.
And you've built that, Beck. Just so you own it, you've built that, Another thing here I've got here, and something that I've quoted from you again, I hope that's okay, but you've said that trust is essential, and that you encourage risk taking. Like you want your staff to think outside the box.
Yeah, definitely. And staff, children, climb that tree, buddy, and have a crack at it. But let's think about the risk and and the same with staff. Yes, there's we've got rules and regulations which we must follow. That's non-negotiable. But the rest of it, have a crack at it. The business side of it,
for sure, they're all involved. They come to me with all these great marketing ideas, and it's like, okay, let's sit down and look at this.
There's nothing. There's nothing that I would ever, if you want to go into a push-up comp, like I seen an email today, go into a push-up comp to raise money. If you want to shave that beautiful long hair to raise money, let's make it happen. Make it happen.
Great.
So, there's nothing.
Love that.
Yeah, you hit a bus, as long as the children are okay and you're okay. You didn't intentionally wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to hit the Ush bus today, or I'm going to not pick up a child at Ush today, or whatever it might be. We all make mistakes. We are all human. So.
And when you're all on the same page, I guess, and working together as a team, you're solution focused. So that's going to work. Love that. Okay. All right. So you've shown us what a great employer you are. So on behalf of your employees, thank you very much. I think they've got it pretty good, actually. And how you attract the right type of employee. So you've looked at doing the right things by your employees, but how do you demonstrate that outside of your business? So how do people, recruiting comes mostly from word of mouth from your families and your staff, by the sounds of it. So if you were going to go outside of that, how do you demonstrate that you are the great business that you are?
For us, good question. I'm not really socials, but I know the team. We've got our gorgeous team there that do. So a lot of social media, you can see it in what we're putting up on, the social pages. You can see that the staff are happy. We do staff surveys regularly. We do parent surveys regularly. We want to hear the good, the bad and the ugly, and we'll never know who you are. But staff surveys are done twice a year. And same as parent surveys are done twice a year. So I guess that's a really hard one. I haven't really thought about that. I think just from our socials or word of mouth. We live in Newcastle. We're Novacasturians. Majority of people know. There's social. You can go and stalk someone on Facebook, I guess, and ask if mutual friends and different things. So, I think it just happens.
Great. Yeah. So I guess it's back to that word of mouth and that authenticity, and that you are a great place to work for your employees. You do offer an amazing service, so it's reflecting that on the outside. And I guess for other businesses that don't have the large staff that you have, we could probably safely say that there are 60 people who work at Fair Play Ush who love what they do and tell everyone that they know that they love what they do. Yeah. But if you're a smaller business, I think my hint there would be to very much make sure that what you've got, whether it's on your socials, whether it's on your website, everything that you do, so your branding story, make sure that reflects what you do inside.
Absolutely.
Often we get a bit professional and a bit tight in what we show outside, but if there's that authenticity and the sharing, genuine is a great word.
It's got to be genuine, and you've been really clear about that in the past with us too. Just keeping it genuine and community, like it's community, all community here in Newcastle.
Yep.
Yeah.
And something I also said in the introduction was, Beck, you've shared with me that you want to set the standard, you know. So I think it's fair to say that you're very careful to lead by example.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's our story, and yeah,
It's good, isn't it?
yeah.
Do you think, and this is a bit off topic, so do you think it's difficult to share your brand story?
Well, sometimes yes, because, you know, there's no key recipe other than I wouldn't do anything that I wouldn't expect. So customer service, if I expect that, that's what is to be, you know, delivered and executed. And it's easy. Like, there is no secret recipe for, I guess
That's a bit of a recipe anyway, isn't it? Being client-centric.
Clients, whether
know.
it's the families, the community, the local, the staff's family, it's just customer service. Success for us, whether it's my recruitment background or Fair Play Ush, or just in life, friends, everything, it's purely customer service.
Great. And client-centric isn't just, everyone doesn't do that. So I think that's probably one of your secrets for sure.
Yeah.
That I'm glad you're sharing.
Oh, there you go.
Well done. Okay, so we've spoken about you being a great employer. We've spoken about attracting those potential employees. Where do you think you're going to find those employees?
Well, haven't times changed? When we used to, you know, go to Seek or LinkedIn, it's really changed. So the other day, I couldn't believe it. I was sitting there thinking, am I going to have to pay Seek $1,000 to put an ad up? Really? Like a guaranteed ad up on Seek, $1,000 guaranteed, and I didn't do it. So this day and age, depending on the market, it's like which market you're in. From a recruitment background, for the high-end roles, it's definitely going to a recruiter and making sure when you do go to a recruiter that you get the, a good, if it doesn't work out, you know, what happens there as far as... Yeah, really good question is know your market though, be connected in your market, and I wish there was an answer. Asked me that question back in the healthcare recruitment days and I would have been all over that, but just how tight this market is, I would just be connected. So I'm connected to our industry, knowing our industry, you know, our competitors, knowing our competitors that don't open in vacation care. And I hate that word competitors in the USH because it should never be a competition in a childcare environment. But being able to work things, so vacation care for us is really busy. So I know services that don't run vacation care. So we reach out to those guys and ethically say, hey, look, you know, we're going to need extra staff. And we utilise some of those staff at our services in the vacation care. And going back to your business plan too, knowing when you're going to have those peaks of when you're going to need staff, whether it's seasonal, whether it's for us vacation care, Christmas time if it's retail, or, you know, coming into different seasons. Yeah, Indeed is a really good platform, free Indeed ads. There is some hot little tips there that, you know, repost that ad to get it back up to the top every 14 days. Yeah, but I would be, you know, your socials, your community pages. Every suburb these days have got community pages. Yeah, and Indeed, the free Indeed job board. I know I put, you know, 2 live ads up for a traineeship and a educator for a brand new service. I just thought I wanted to get someone from the community. And already my phone's been going ding, ding, ding all day with Indeed applicants. So again, I won't read the resumes. I will send all those guys just 6 questions.
Yep, love that.
And then we'll, you know, based on those replies, we will do our recruitment process from that. And that was just purely from Indeed, the free Indeed.
That's great. So great advice. And earlier we were talking about most of your referrals come though from people that you know.
Yeah.
So whether that be your staff or your key partners, and that's testimony to the business that you have and that people are happy to recommend.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, just being careful in our local community too. So this particular role we wanted to go external, so on Indeed, and we have shared with high schools because we are looking for a trainee with high schools and training organisations too. So Yeah.
So I love there that Beck has demonstrated that she's used her community and everyone that she knows and gone out there and said, this is what we're looking for, you know.
Yeah.
And I guess that can really help filter the people that you get, because I would hope that people won't recommend people who they don't think will be a good fit.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Great. And I do love that, not reading resumes and really getting to know the applicant.
Yeah.
That is so refreshing.
Been there, yeah.
Yeah. So if anyone here is looking for a job, we're not saying don't have an up-to-date resume.
No.
But
but being authentic, and it comes back to that authenticity. Can't get my words.
Authenticity.
That's
Yes,
the word.
it's a big one.
And genuine, you know, that you got 3 seconds in that 3, people say 7, but I've got 3. I've got the attention span of the, you know. So I would say grabbing in that first line, you know, the first couple of lines is talk about you and what, you know, you can bring to the team.
Great.
And do your research too, so.
And doing your research goes both ways, doesn't it? In that if you've done your research, well, then you've already, I'm hoping as an applicant, made that decision that this is somewhere I'd like to work.
Yeah.
I want to be part of this team.
Yeah.
So that's going
Definitely.
to take you a long way. Great.
Yep.
Fantastic. Okay. All right. Again, we've looked at what a great employer you are. We've looked at your great team.
Yep.
We've looked at how we're going to go out and find people to add to your team, so building your team. And we've also looked at being prepared for that critical growth stage. And it's fair to say that every business is at its most vulnerable at a growth stage. And we're at that growth stage when we're looking at recruiting. So it's important to have all that planning. And I'm going to say it again, Beck gets her business plan out every month, which I absolutely love, and aligns it with financials. So that's all part of that goal. So we've looked at all of those things. Let's talk about how, when we've got that great team, which you have, oh my gosh, 60 of them and growing, how do you keep them, Beck?
Oh, well, yeah, retaining is really important. It comes back to that word, genuine, keeping it real, keeping the team on the journey, giving them the tools to succeed. And what tools look like in my business is different to what other businesses. But for us, it's listening to them, hearing them. They've got a voice, and displaying, you know, delivering what I would, you know, I wouldn't ask them to do anything that I wouldn't do. And just checking in on regularly, you know, being that ear to listen to, and the policies and procedures, referring them back to policies and procedures if need be. But just keeping it real. There's no real key to.
Yep, communication is
key.
Yeah. Great. Something else again that we've spoken about is setting that great example. So I know you do that. You're the hardest working person at Fair Play Ush. It doesn't matter what time of the morning or evening you contact Beck. She's back there. That's why she has a 3-second attention span, because she's always got 7 balls in the air at the same time.
I need to get better at that though. So, you know, that's what I need to get better at. And that comes with I know you don't like to say the word journey, but it's a journey. It's the Fair Play journey, and I talk about that often, is that, I need to do that for me, because all my staff, you know, get looked after and get happy, and sometimes we forget about, you know, do I want to be married to my business, or do I want to be not married to my business?
I think you'll be married.
So, yeah, absolutely.
So Beck wants to be married.
Absolutely, but just not to my business.
No, exactly right.
So getting the boundaries, in place for me personally too is important.
Yep, great.
So the team feel that.
What about making sure, so once you've got your staff in the business, what about making sure they're in the best job in the business?
So people grow. So, you know, I've got a classic example where we've got a gorgeous young lady come into the business with passion and drive. That's all she had. She's like, I haven't got any of this, any of this, and any of this. And you could tell that she was passionate. She had drive. She just needed someone to give her a go. So, you know, that young lady today is our operations manager. And so she's gone. Will she be with us forever? Probably not, because she's such a passionate and driven person. But just, giving them the tools to succeed. Some people come into the business and they're happy to be an educator and get their 25 hours a week, do the best job, give their they're all, you know, from their heart they can say they're doing it and go home, and that's great too. But then giving, you know, the staff the tools to succeed. Just because, you know, they don't have a qualification and this and that, if they've got the right passion and drive, anything's possible. You've got to just believe in yourself and being backed by our management team.
Love that. So it's that attitude and fit with culture.
Absolutely.
Fit for your culture.
Yeah.
Love that.
And if they're not happy, you know, like we might not be the right employer, come and talk to us, you know, have a chat to me, you know, and we can see what we can do. And the recruitment background comes in. I've got a classic example of a lady that when she come to the interview, she was, she come for a coordinator role, but she sat there and she said, I really think I've done my days working as a coordinator. I really see myself working as an educator because I'm so passionate about the industry. And so at that time, I'm like, right, I would love you as a coordinator, but I'd really like to see you out in the industry. So going back to our networks and getting our, you know, a local company that we use, a training company. And now, you know, she's doing 2 days a week training and working for us 2 days a week. So we get the both world, you know, she's happy, we're happy, and she's bringing both those together.
So knowing your staff, knowing what they want, understanding what their vision is and what their goals are so important.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
seeing if it's a good fit.
Yeah, and checking in on the staff performance. You know, we all have our, you know, roller coasters. When we're on, and when we're like feeling flat, we're like, why do we do this? Why do I own my own business? So making sure we're checking in regularly, and making sure staff have leave and some self-love and all those things, because dealing with children all day, every day, it's hard work.
Yes, I bet it is. So, I don't know how you do it.
Yeah.
I'm very glad that you do, though. So talk to me about ongoing training, supervision and support for your staff. How does that fit in with what you do at Fair Play Orsh?
Yeah, so having that plan. So having not just a plan, we have a budget for ongoing upskilling and training and mentoring, but we also have a yearly planner. So we're really all about having an action list, having a plan, ticking that off, not just a tick box, but making sure that we have executed and delivered the best that we can before just having a tick box and going and ticking. So just say that question again, Paulina.
So where does ongoing training, supervision and support for your employees fit in with your strategies?
That definitely comes from our performance reviews. So we do 2 performance reviews a year. And don't get me wrong, I sit there and I think, oh, here we go again, we just done those. But they are crucial, just like your business plan. So asking the staff, you know, rate yourself. And that can be really hard, so, you know, to rate yourself. But after, you know, they've done their second, third, they're on fire going, hey, I need to better my behaviour management skills, or I would like some training in autism, or I would like this. You know, 9 times out of 10, we've already got that happening up here, thinking forward, planning that. But it's just coming back to having their goals, our goals, and gelling that together and executing what's on our staff performance reviews.
Love that word, executing, because so many employers, I mean, we have the whole gamut here at the Business Centre across all industries, and you're so busy and you can have all of those good intentions, and actually it can be in a plan, but actually making sure that you execute it and having that consistency. And I guess that comes down again to trust and you valuing your employees. It's fantastic. I see that in action with what you do with your staff.
It definitely was hard work, just like the policies and procedures, but it works. I don't know how many times you'd say to me, but it works, Beck, you need to do it. And I'd be like, yeah, I'm winging life, you know. But definitely it works, and it's been working a treat since we really have, you know, implement it, execute and maintain it.
Love it. Love it. And again, I see this, you know, so Beck and I could be having an appointment at Fair Play Orsh at Edgeworth, and different questions will come up, and it's straight away, and it's the management team. Beck doesn't need to answer. This is where it is. It's listed here. You've just got everything sorted, and it just makes for everyone being more comfortable, again, managing expectations, but the answers are there. You do it once. You don't have to keep chasing things every day. And
that's a learnt trust, you know, and allowing other, you know, your staff to come in and know all that too. It takes a bit, you know, it's but it does work.
It does work. It does work. And I've got a list of things again that we've spoken about, that you've already spoken about. It's that welcoming that feedback and suggestions from all the staff, and everyone is invited to do that. Ensure your culture is across the board, you know, and it's demonstrated by everybody.
The consistency,
Great.
Great. It's really key.
And I'm not sure about this one, and it's not one that we've spoken about with your staff, certainly for the management. But what about KPIs? Do KPIs play a big part with what you do?
Yeah and no.
Okay.
So we have personal KPIs, like, I'm going to say no because, I know
fair.
KPIs probably should be. I have KPIs, certainly not financial or anything like that. I have KPIs for me. Because that's what drives me, but they're not crazy that we've got to get this many new enrolments or this or that, because number one is it's all about quality and never quantity. So in everything I do, KPIs, no.
Yep. So that's great, and that's wonderful. And I guess we've spoken about you've got goals and things, which is it's a similar thing. And I wasn't sure about KPIs because I know in our workings together that's not been a big one. Certainly at the high. Like at the management end, there are KPIs.
Definitely.
But for your staff, so that's a good lesson for everyone as well. You know, I certainly know here at the business centre, KPIs is something that we certainly we work to. But different industries set different standards. But if it's not that whole KPI, so you're measuring success, you're measuring if you're achieving those goals that you've set, and of course you need to set those goals, but it's about having either those goals, having that understanding. And Beck runs a business where she's very close with 60 of her employees, and she understands what they want.
Goals is definitely, you know, making sure that every child goes home happy, feeling part of the ushies. The staff go home happy is a massive goal, that they come back, you know, refreshed. So just not KPIs but goals.
Love that. Okay, I think we've covered all of these things just about. We're getting
there's
there.
Lots of KPIs.
I've got two things here in regard to keeping your staff, and it's something that we mentioned earlier on, that onboarding.
Yeah, very critical. Very, So as we know, we get so busy sometimes in all businesses, we get snowed under, so onboarding, classic example, we have an amazing onboarding system process, but it doesn't always work either. You know, we're humans, we're sick, we've got family, whatever else happens. So onboarding, yes, we've got this, it works, but then there's times when we can't onboard because it hasn't, we can't follow our onboarding process. But still, in those moments, doing what you've got to do to get through, but then going back and not just keep skipping because you've skipped that key, going back and inducting and, setting it out. The policies and procedures are here. They're not just black and white. They're actually, this is how we roll.
Love that. And again, we have that authenticity from Beck. You know, it's no one's perfect. No one's perfect. And it's about being real, I guess, but having that you've got that process, so it hasn't gone to plan for whatever reason, and then you go back and you sort it out. But I love that you've identified how important that is.
Going back.
And then the last part of that question, which I know again that you have in place, and you've identified that working with children is amazing, but it's hard work, and I know from dealing with you and your staff that there are some tough things that staff have to deal with. So you've got a great program to support your staff outside of what you do. I'd love you to talk about your EAP.
So I guess in the big corporate world, it's all it's called EAP. So for us, we identify, it comes back to the individual. So in this environment, sitting here talking to a counsellor, social worker, psychologist, whatever it may be, is not everyone's cup of tea, but talking to a horse might be. So we don't, there's no box. If one of our staff members, I might feel that they might be better off going to horse therapy, we're going to send them off to horse therapy. I know that sounds really bizarre, but it works, and it's what works for that person as an individual. Or they might just need some time off, or they might need, Everyone's different, and what we do see and deal with in childcare, we aren't just glorified babysitters at USH. Unfortunately, we see some horrendous things. We have to report some horrendous things. So it can get really heavy at times. But yeah, knowing your staff and how they're going to benefit, whether it's going to be time off. Some people, I know I've got a young lady, not even young, sorry, a lady that first thing was, why don't you take some time off? But no, because her happy place is working. So for her, coming to work but being supported at work. Does she want to go and talk to someone? No, she doesn't. For whatever history or whatever. So yeah, always offering support, and support's not just going to an EAP. Here's a 1300 number, go and call a counsellor. There's some really good programs out there that I've recently done in the last 12 months, and it's mental health first aid, incidental counsellor, because, owning your business, having HR, whatever else, we're sitting on couches sometimes and we're listening and learning those strategies has been really important too. So the incidental counsellor through Lifeline, highly recommend. Right. Domestic violence 2-day workshops, it's all free through the Lifeline. So yeah, it's good to refer on, but it's also good to be able to refer to the right organisation, company, horse therapy, whatever it might be, whatever works for that person. Yep.
So love all of those lessons there. So it's not just in-house. Sometimes you have to go, out of your immediate employment and get them to speak to a professional. But then again, true to form, Beck understands her clients, I was going to say, her staff. Yeah. She knows what's going to work for them. You have that discussion, so you actually provide them a solution that's real and it's going to work specifically for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that relationship building. All right. Well, Beck, that was our last question.
Was it really?
We got there already.
Oh, we did.
But I'm going to put you on the spot one last time.
Okay.
So of all that we've spoken about today, and all the experience that you have, both in recruitment and gosh, with this business, growing it so quickly, employing so many, and you've really got it right. You've done this. Yeah. It seems effortlessly from the outside, because I think it's that authenticity. You've been genuine, and you've put those processes in, albeit that we've maybe caught up with paperwork processes a little bit later, but you've put all of that into place. So if you could tell our viewers, or give our viewers, one tip when they're looking at recruiting, what do you think that would be? Could you bring it into one tip? Is that too hard?
Don't judge a resume.
There you go.
Yeah, and that's been my whole tip through, that whole saying, you could have the best looking resume, the poorest clinician, or the worst looking resume, and they can be the best clinician. So don't judge a book by its cover.
That is fantastic advice. So and that's coming from someone who's been a recruiter as well. And so that wraps up our session. Firstly, I've got to say a really heartfelt thank you, Beck. I know how busy you are, so I very much welcome you coming to share this with our viewers here at the Business Centre. So thank you very, very, very much.
Anytime.
I know that you walk the walk, so everything that's been said tonight, and that's why I invited you along, so it's about creating that space where you can be the best employer, so you can attract the best employees, and then of course have that amazing service to give to your potential clients and your current clients. So congratulations, you've done it.
Thank you.
Really, really good.
Thank you very much.
All right, so I'm sad that it's finished.
I know, right?
We're all done.
You actually forget about the cameras, don't you?
You do, which is great. So what I need to do is again recommend the Business Connect program, which is a dedicated program funded by the New South Wales Government and delivered through a network of independent small service providers that help you start or grow your small business, like the Business Centre, of course. If you want a business advisory session subsidised by the New South Wales Government under the Business Connect program, please call 1300 134 359 or email connect@treasury.newsouthwales.gov.au, or of course you can call the business centre and we can point you in the right direction and book you in with one of our business advisors. I would also like to really thank the amazing team at Fortronic. So they provided this webcast experience, and they provide this expertise and technology behind everything that we do in this webcast space. They've been our AV partners for a whole range of different projects that we've done here at the Business Centre, and we strongly endorse them. They do an amazing job. So if you'd like to talk to any of them about implementing webcasting as part of your business continuity, and it's certainly something that we recommend. It's the way to go for sure. Beck's just already had to talk to them about coming out to Fair Play or to help them out, but I'd love you to reach out, and you can always contact them through the Business Centre as well. So that's really it. I'd love to thank our viewers. Again, a special thank you to Beck. You've just been amazing. Fortronic, and of course all the team at the Business Centre that make this happen. And if you've got any questions at all about your business or about recruiting or certainly planning at any stage and all of that compliance stuff, as I always say at the Business Centre, there's absolutely no question too big and there's no question too small. Please give us a call and we'll help you out. Thanks very much, everybody.